don't have the time. I have too much on my plate. I'm not going to be able to make it. I have this going on. How many times do we hear that in sales and business, or even just personal life with your friends and family? Right? Most people think they don't have the time, but the reality is that they're not organized with their time. And this video is going to help you organize your time. We all have the same amount of time. How can you say that we don't have enough time when you look at people like Elon Musk running SpaceX, Tesla, the Boring Company, everything that he does? You have Richard Branson, who is always constantly running 150 different businesses at one time, spinning different plates. So it's not about not having the time, it's about not having the time organized. And so being able to budget your time is a key skill for you to be prosperous in life and business. Not only to be prosperous, but also to be somebody that's not overcommitting. Be somebody that's not in a state where they think they don't have the time, because when you overcommit, you're overwhelmed. When you're people pleasing, you're going to be in a state where you feel less than. It's going to create a cycle of being able to overcommit so that you can put yourself in a situation to be disappointed. And so we all have 168 hours in a week. And so if you look at your schedule for a week, it breaks down to 7 24-hour time blocks. And this 24-hour time blocks, 1,440 minutes, 86,400 seconds. We all have the same time. It's about what you do with your time that's important. And so it's cool to say, hey, I have work going on, I'm not going to be able to make it, I have to sleep, I understand. And so whereas I might sleep 4 to 5 hours a night, I know doctors say to sleep 7 or 8. So we're going to go through a quick budget on your time so that you can be able to understand how to organize your time easily and effortlessly so that you can live in the flow. The best thing to do is start off, and you can find these online. You can find one of these on my website, myinfinitecapital.com. In fact, I'll put a PDF at the bottom here so that you can download a time budget sheet, because we all have to sleep, right? How many hours a week are you sleeping? Or hours a night are you sleeping, so that you can do that? So let's just use 8 hours a night because that's what the doctor orders. At the same time, Arnold Schwarzenegger, somebody that I followed since I was a kid, says, hey, if you want an extra 2 hours a day, just sleep 2 hours less.
Look, everyone has a problem with time, but the day has 24 hours and we sleep 6. Now, I know there's some out there that say, whoa, I need 8. Well, I say just sleep a little faster.
And so I sleep 4 to 5 hours a night. I know a lot of people that are highly spiritual, highly conscious, only sleep for 4 or 5 hours a night. Arnold sleeps for 6 hours a night. Your doctor tells you to sleep for 8. You choose what's best for you. But even if you're sleeping 8 hours a night, you're talking 56 hours a week. All right? You got to work. Most people are working 40 hours a week. Okay? And also at the same time, 40 hours a week is only a quarter of your time. So, for me, I grew up in the restaurant business. I was working 80, 100, 120 hours a week. If you talk to highly successful people, working 40 hours a week isn't going to cut it. But to live a balanced life, do whatever you feel is necessary. So we sleep, we work, before we go to work, we have to get ready, right? And you don't want to get ready to get ready. You don't want to live in a state of always getting ready, but you got to get dressed, take a shower, do those things. So you're talking a half hour a day, and you know what? Let's call it an hour a day. Call it an hour a day for you. Boom, times 7 days a week. There's 7 hours in the morning of getting ready, and this is getting ready for your day. And we'll give you an hour at night as well to get ready for rest. Okay, 1 times 7, that's 7 hours. So every single day, you're working 8 hours a day, you're sleeping 8 hours a night. What do you do with the rest of your time? You have work, you have sleep, you have getting ready, gym or exercise, okay? I personally go to the gym for 1 hour. Some people can do, you can do a HIIT exercise or a HIIT training for 30 to 45 minutes, have it be efficient. If you're a professional bodybuilder, you might be going 2-3 hours a day to the gym. But let's just again use an hour a day, 7 days a week. Boom. And that extra hour on a 7, maybe you're just doing 6 days a week, but just for simplicity purposes, we're going to go with 7 hours. Cool. And then what else do you do in your day? Personal development. Personal development is key. How much time are you spending working on yourself? Because Jim Rohn, one of the people I've learned from since I was a teenager, says when you work hard on your job, you're going to earn a living. But when you work hard on yourself, you earn a fortune. And so I've been working hard on myself since I was 15, 16 years old so that I can understand how I work. What's more important than understanding how you work, right? When you understand how you work, then you can understand your strengths, understand your weaknesses, and put those together so that you can understand yourself. And the more you understand yourself, the more you're going to let go of overwhelm, the more you're going to be in the flow, the more you're going to work on yourself, just like you did if you played sports, right? You know, you're watching film at football practice. I played football in high school. I watched film on myself all the time. And so when you watch film on yourself or watch film on other people, then you're able to better prepare yourself. When you're able to better prepare yourself, you'll typically have better results. And so personal development, at least a half hour a day, 6 days a week. At least a half hour a day, 6 days a week. And Darren Hardy in The Compound Effect, he says 30 minutes a day reading, 30 minutes a day watching or listening to audio. Either watching a YouTube video, listening to audio, 30 minutes. So he says to do an hour. I do at least an hour. But again, I'm going to highball everything in this to show you guys how much time you have. I'm going to highball everything that you think it has to be the way that it is, and I'm going to lowball everything the way that you think it's not supposed to be. So we're talking here, boom, we have 96 hours, boom, so 21, 117 as of right there. There's 120 hours. What else do you do in your time? Right? What else do you do with your time? You might want to rest. You have family time. So let's put family and friends on here. How much time are you spending with your family? What, maybe 2-3 hours a day if you have family and kids, right? You want to have dinner. You want to sit there, watch TV with your family. You might want to watch a movie, have family movie night. These are all things that are fine to have perfect work-life balance. And so let's just give yourself 3 hours a day to just be with your family. You're talking 7 days a week. That's an extra 21 hours, okay? Now we're at 141. Again, we have 168. We still have 27 hours to go, right? And what else are you doing with your time, okay? We're talking about eating food, eating meals. I like to meal prep, so it only takes me 20 to 30 minutes each time. I have a protein shake in the morning that takes 5 minutes, but you might want to have a full breakfast. You might want to have a full lunch. You might want to have a full dinner. Let's call it an hour for each. Let's call it an hour for each. So you have an hour for each, boom, 3 times a day, 7 days a week. That's an extra 21 hours, and now you're at 162. Okay, and that's, again, highballing, lowballing, everything, and that's pretty much what everybody does in their day. Boom, boom, boom. You still have 6 extra hours. What can you do in your 6 extra hours? What can you do in your time, right? And at the same time, does it really take you a full hour to get ready? Does it really take you a full hour to eat every meal? Does it really take you 3 hours every single day, 7 days a week with your family? If not, you might be able to cut this stuff down, because most people are able to find in their day an extra 15, 20 hours. All right, so you want to be able to say, hey, you know what? I work 40 hours, I sleep 8 hours. It only takes me half hour to get ready in the morning, half hour at night, 3.5. Boom. How do you find yourself more time? There you go. You just added an extra 7 hours. Now you're at 13. You know what? Hey, family, I'm going to spend time with you. It's important for me to spend time with you, but I'm just going to lower it down from 3 hours to 2 hours. Okay, cool. So now this turns into 14. This turns in here. You just added an extra 7, plus 7 hours here, plus 7 hours there. Now you have 20 hours a week extra. That's a full part-time job. I used full part-time at the same time, but the reality is that you can run an efficient business 20 hours a week. You're able to run an efficient business part-time from the comfort of your home for 20 hours a week. You can do it with 7 hours a week. You can do it with 6 hours a week. Even if you do all of this, and this is what you do with your time, having fun with family and friends, eating meals, every single meal for an hour, having personal development, going to the gym, getting ready to rest, getting ready for your day, working 40 hours a week, sleeping, you still have time. And so not having time is a situation that most people put themselves in to feel overwhelmed. Not having the time is a situation where you're able to put yourself in, where you set yourself up to be disappointed. Oh, I don't have the time. Oh, I don't have the money. That's going to be another video we're going to make, is not having the money. But for this, understanding that you don't have the time, you do have the time. You do have the time to make it happen. You do have the time to work on your passion. Gary Vee is somebody that says, go work hard on your job. Go work hard on everything that you do, but build something on the side. Build whatever your passion is on the side. You might have a corporate job. You might be a self-employed business owner. You might have these situations in your life that at this point you have to do to put food on the table, to live your life. I totally understand. It is okay. It's also important to be able to manage your time so that you can create the life that you want to live. And so one of the greatest skills that I learned from my coach, Jeffrey Combs, is how to create dedicated blocks of time, DBTs. And you're able to move these in and out, especially with technology today. Back in the day, if you had a planner, you wrote it in your planner, you wrote it with a pen, you have to cross it off or this or that. Today, you can use iCalendar, Google Calendar, and you can create blocks of time, dedicated blocks of time to sleep, which I call rest. Okay? And dedicated blocks of time to get ready. Then you go to the gym. Then you go to work. Now, what happens if you have to go to work early? Then you just slide this up and slide this down. You can do that really easily in iCalendar and Google Calendar in any situation today. And so when you create dedicated blocks of time, you can do this. Now, I create dedicated blocks of time to friends. And most people just have these, their whole thing is an open block of time. And they just go through life however it comes out. When you have dedicated blocks of time, you can put free time. What do you do in your free time? You might go on a walk. You might just sit outside. You might be looking into something fun. You might do some random research on something. You might watch a sports game. You might do whatever it is that your hobby is, but that free time, it should be scheduled. Everything should be scheduled. If you look at any successful person, they have a schedule for their time. They have a way in which they operate. They have a ebb and flow to their day. And so it's important for you, if you want to be successful, if you want to live in prosperity, if you want to have everything that you want to have. And of course, it's important. There's having, doing, and being, right? Having everything that you want is not the key. Being everything that you want is the key. And what's better than being in the flow? What's better than being in prosperity? What's better than being organized, systemized, methodical, so that you can create that which you deserve, not what you need, because needing comes from lack. If you need something, you don't have it. That comes from desire, which is a lower level of consciousness. But everything that you deserve to have the time. You deserve to have an open slot where you can have free time. You deserve to have time with your family. You deserve to go to the gym. You deserve to read and work on yourself. You deserve to work your butt off at whatever it is that you do. But you deserve to live this life in prosperity. And so start talking to yourself, having dialogue with yourself, saying, I am able to live in the present. I am living in the flow. I am in the here and the now. I am organized and systemized with my time. I create dedicated blocks of time so that I can live in ease and effortlessness. I am able to operate in the flow. These are some affirmations that I've learned from my coach, Jeffrey Combs. And so instead of just going about the day the way the day brings it, be organized and systemized with your time. Be in a state where you're able to say, yeah, you know what? Hold on one second. Let me check my schedule. There's nothing more professional than when somebody says, hey, can we do this at this time? And you say, hold on one second. Let me check my schedule. Because I don't operate just based on how the day is going to let me flow. I operate based on my schedule. A lot of my friends and family know that when they ask me something, if they look at my schedule, everything is scheduled out from all 24 hours of the day, 7 days of the week. And if there's any pockets of time, then that time is used for production. The pockets of time that you have, the 15 minutes here, the 20 minutes here, even if it's 5 minutes, how many phone calls can you make in those 5 minutes? How many people can you connect with in those 15 minutes? Can you go take a breather, go for a walk? If you're having a stressful day, feeling some anxiety in your day, and you have extra 15 minutes, instead of forcing yourself to live in force and continue working, let go. Use that time to let go. Go sit outside of your house. Go for a walk. Take some deep breaths. Go work on yourself so that you can have everything that you deserve. And so, having dedicated blocks of time, being able to budget your time, manage your time, be effective with your time, have a schedule, all of these situations will allow you to be and stay inspired, be and stay successful. I operate based on my schedule. There's a lot of times when somebody will say, hey, can we do this? What do you got going on today? Like, well, I don't really even know what I have going on today. Let me look at my schedule. I just follow what my phone tells me to do. What are you doing on Thursday at this time? Boom, let me check. Boom, boom, boom. This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing. Are you able to move that? Are you able to move these up and down? Hey, one of my people on my team, he's been starting a new business and it's really awesome. And he has unequivocally showed how you can have a family, have a newborn baby, have situations, have a wife, have all of this, and move your time around to where he has that extra 20 hours of time a week. He's moving that part-time business, moves it up here to where he's able to operate in the flow. It wasn't working for a lot of people. Sometimes you might make a schedule and it doesn't work. You realize that you want to go to the gym every day at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and that's the best time for you to go to the gym, but you're at work. So what do? You move that time up to 3 o'clock. Up from 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock in the morning to 6 o'clock in the morning. And you know what? You might have to wake up earlier. You might have to leave work a little later. You might have to do some things that you don't want to do in order to do so that you can live a life that other people don't have. Grant Cardone says, I do things I don't want to do every single day. And so there's a lot of days that I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and I'm like, oh, I have to wake up right now, but at the same time, I know I'm inspired. And so that only lasts for a second before I'm like, all right, I got this self-talk in my head, right? You got to wake up. Come on, Josh, wake up right now. Come on, wake up. Get out of bed. Go do your thing. It's time for a day. You have to be in the flow easily and effortlessly so that you can live a life that you deserve.